Hey everyone, it's Jake and Jake's Metal Chat. Hope you're all well and welcome to another video. It's a response to an all-round chill dude by the name of Johnny Mac, aka Rockin' Metal Plus, for surpassing 1K subscribers, and a well done to you, mate. Very well deserved. And for this, he is doing a competition, so there is a link to his video in the description below so you can take part yourselves. There are 10 questions to answer, and you will win some vinyl CDs that he has placed into a box. You name it, it'll be in there. And here are my answers to his 10 questions. So, question one is first, so show and tell me your first album, gig, movie that I saw at the cinema. Whatever it is, it must be your first. So, my first gig was Bryan Adams on the 17th of May 2003 at the Ashton Gate Stadium here in Bristol, along with my mum, my nan, and my brother, who was 14 at the time, and I was 11 and a half at that time. And it completely new thing to me at the time. Obviously, not now, but back then it was never been to a gig before in my life until that moment. And it was absolutely fantastic. He put on one hell of a great show. He had two support bands. I can't remember who they were. I can't remember their names. Might have to look that up later. But just a brilliant first show. And a big thank you to my mum for giving me the bug for going to gigs. Question two is last. So the last album that I bought or gig I went to, film, video game that I bought as well. It can be anything. So I went with one of the last albums I bought. It's the first pressing of an album I already got, and I spoke about it here on the channel. It is Forest of Equilibrium by Cathedral. Saw this at Black City Records and thought, yeah, I'm getting this. I'm no chance I'm letting anyone else pick this up. Awesome, groovy, early 90s doom metal. I mean, I got to see these guys at least twice. So, yeah, 2005 with Cradle of Filth and um, Bloodstock 2010. But man, this band, they may not be going anymore, but man, their music is still very much, you know, still up there with some of the best doom metal albums to come out either in the 80s, 90s, or later on. But overall, just a groovy doom metal album. Bit more Death Doom back then with this album, but went a bit more groove later on. But definitely one that does have that mixture of groove in there. Cathedral and Forest of Equilibrium, and just fantastic right there. Question three, always. So be it favorite album, video game, and with because he was going to do a mixture of showing albums and films and video games. So that was basically the basis for his channel. So for that, I'm going to go with my favorite album, The Fourth Crusade by Boltfer, which blends death metal and doom metal together. So you got that fast heaviness of death metal and that slow heaviness of doom metal. And yeah, a nice little blend of the two. And always going to be my favorite album by these guys. And the song that got me into him is the title track of this album. And I've got to see him once. And yeah, glad I got to see him when I did. And always going to be one of my favorite death metal bands ever. And this is always going to be my favorite album because it's just so damn heavy and just excellent death metal to come out of the early 90s. Boltfer and the Fourth Crusade. What's the next? Question four, something old. So I went with a film because, like I said, he was gonna do his channel based, like obviously show him rocking metal, but also show some films, video games, you name it. So I went with this is a collector's edition of this film, but it's been out since 1982, hence why I picked it for this question, and that is Candyman, starring Tony Todd, who, of course, we sadly lost last year, but his legacy does live on, and this is my favorite role of his ever because he plays it to absolute perfection. Because there's a collector's edition, it's got two versions of the film, so a US R-rated version and the UK theatrical version. I think the US R-rated version is the uncut version. I cannot remember. I have to watch again. Yeah, anyway. I'll show you what's in this box actually. Of course, you got the film itself. Show the so you got the two versions there, so the R-rated version and also the UK version, and a few little postcards here. Just show the one there. It's closed. There we go. A booklet here, a book with a nice piece of artwork there of the rib cage with some bees and nothing on the back. But a nice few bits of concept art for the storyboard. Get that back in there as well. And you'll see the cover on a big poster, which I will show you now. So you got this one, which of course is for the Arrow re-release, and the original poster it's well as well. Love this film. I saw the second one first, but then I found out about this one, like sometime later, and I was like, yeah, gotta watch it. And you know what? As much as I love the second one, this one is just way better. Of course, in the sequel to this, but this film will always be just top tier of those films, and just one of my favorite films ever when it comes to horror, and just one of my favorite films of all time. Definitely one for horror fans and just overall film lovers in general. So yeah, Candyman, fantastic film, and rest in peace to Tony Todd. You will be missed. Um, Question 5 is something new. So I went with a shirt this time. For this, I've went with the shirt. Coffee Mulch. Got it at Incineration Fest early this month. And yeah, I've seen these guys before, played Bristol 2 years ago, and then not seen, I think I missed them the last time they were here. Yeah, I did actually. But then saw them at Incineration, so good to see these guys again. Some punky death metal, that HM2 in there, you cannot go wrong. But really cool shirt. It's good to see Al again. Yeah, Coffee Mulch. Gonna keep that out because I'm gonna wear it tomorrow. What's next? So question 6 is something borrowed. And it's a video game that I borrowed from my uncle because he had a PlayStation 1 at the time. And I borrowed it. I used to play it every time I went over as a kid with my brother. Me and my mum, nan, and brother would go see my aunt and uncle. And let me borrow this, and I just never gave it back. I played it again since because I got on the remastered one with 1 and 2. So it's 1, 2, and 3 here on my PS5. But here's the PS1 version of one of those games, and it is Tomb Raider 2. Always, it's always been my favorite because I just love the whole game itself. I just love the levels a lot more. Because you got like Venice, Italy there, you got China, you got underwater section there. Just an overall fantastic game. Came out in 1997. And nearly this game's 28 years old. That is absolutely fucking mental. But one of my favorite games, actually my all-time favorite from the Tomb Raider games. Definitely going to be playing this again soon. But I will be playing the remastered of the of 4, 5, and 6 as well. But definitely something that I I that I do have. Obviously, I have it now, but at the time, I just didn't get myself, so I borrowed it from my uncle. So hence why it's still in my collection today. So Tomb Raider 2, fantastic game. Question number 7 is something blue. So I went with Morbid Angel, Altars of Madness, very blue cover right here. And the overall fantastic album for those within the VC that have listened and also own it. But yeah, he said something blue, so just show a blue thing, and this is blue. Just a brilliant, brilliant album and awesome artwork by the man himself, Dan Seagrave. So yeah, Morbid Angel, Altars of Madness, my something blue. And question 8 is shout out some YouTubers. So Mark G with a C, no question, just been making a lot of great videos. Obviously, my favorites are the Buzzsaws, the Law. Mention HM2 when I mentioned Coffee Mulch. But I love that series. Always, I've commented on every single part that he's released, and I'm always finding new bands and even finding old bands that I've listened to before, like Hellswarm, for example. But yeah, definitely Mark G. They'll all be in the description below, so do check out their channels. Next one is Sean the Beast, who I met up in Scotland along with Mark for Dead of Winter Fest, and been checking out his videos since I came back from Scotland. And I was following him on Instagram beforehand, and then I started checking out his videos. Like, there's stuff on there that he's talking about that I don't know about. So, again, it's finding new bands, and he's definitely got bands on there I've never even heard of. Some of them, and stuff that he does own. Like, I need to own that soon. But yeah, definitely check out Sean the Beast. Dylan HM2 Power. Speaking of HM2, hasn't been on that much lately. Just hasn't had the urge to make videos lately. Should definitely get back into it because he's got so much knowledge about HM2, and he's definitely a channel worth checking out if you're more into your HM2 soaked death metal. He shows other albums as well that ain't HM2, but mostly it is HM2. It is a channel name is a clue, but definitely a channel to check out if you're more into that. And Roger, who again be in the description below, he's done a lot of videos as well. He did one about his collection, so he did a tour of his room of all his stuff. And he's got a great knowledge of metal as well. There's so many more I could have spoken about as well. But I always give shout out. I give out random shout outs now and then. But these are definitely channels that you need to check out. So do check them out down below. Just give them your support. And if there's some new bands out there, and they're gonna have them. They're gonna be bands there that you might not know who they are. And those bands will be on their channels. That's how I found out about half of the bands that I've been getting into is from these channels. So definitely check those out. So that is Mark G with a C, Sean the Beast, Dylan HM2 Power, and Roger, all down in there in the description below. And question 9 is to ask him a question. And I've been trying to think of a question, but one kept buzzing around in my head. Is there a band that you never got to see back in the day that you finally got to see either like 2 years ago, or 5 years ago, 10 years ago, or even 15 years ago? Was there a band that you absolutely loved back in the day, but you never got to see them until very recently? So again, be like 5, 10, 15, maybe even 20 years ago. And question 10 is how did I find out about his channel? I found out about his channel just from hearing Mark and um, Liam talking about his channel and just hearing the name Rocket Metal Plus, and then again I got around to checking out his channel. Once I met him up in Scotland as well, and just checking out his stuff and not looked back since. So yeah, just from those within the VC, and yeah, like I said, I haven't looked back since. And of course, you need to check him out as well. Give him all the support in the world, and a big well done again for surpassing 1K subscribers. And that is it for this video. Hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for taking the time out of your day. Be sure to check out the original video to this response to his video. And I will be back with more of what I do for the channel. So until then, I've been Jacob Jake's Metal Chat. Keep the banner of metal well and truly high. And I'll see you all in the next one. Please do take care of yourselves.